Item 9, Engineering Division Capital Improvement Program Project Update. Mr. Tuttle.
Thank you, ma'am. This is an item that I'd like to make somewhat regular, at least every 6 months, if not once a quarter, to give you guys an update on our capital improvement projects that we've got going on. I know some of you guys are still the new guys and may not know everything that is in the capital improvement program. Just tallied up the projects that we have in this program, not counting the TDOT-led projects, is almost $80 million worth of projects that are being developed. That's a mixture of city funds. It's a mixture of other state and federal funds, but wanted to walk through it slowly to some extent tonight, but I can go as fast as you want. But I want to take a little bit of time tonight as we move forward. You know, the next update, I'm happy to place this in the department head report line, and just, you know, you can ask questions if you'd like. So if you don't mind, I did have a PowerPoint presentation. I'll go through the blocks of projects. So the first block that we have, if you have your packet with you, is the stormwater block. And we've got over $11 million of projects that are in this block. And I will jump right in, and we get to the end of this, I'll take a pause there. You could ask questions about any of those projects if you'd like, and we can go into detail. So first on the list here is Center Street to Anthony Street stormwater, and I'm showing you on our screen now the drainage path, the stormwater path that this would be improving. This is a project that was dreamed up following the 2010 floods. And we've gotten to the point where we are ready to move forward with property acquisition. It's planned to be done in 2 phases. And so we have appraisals that are being completed. I think most of them are completed, and we'll begin approaching property owners in the very, very near future, hoping that this is a well-received project and we can have acquisition completed within 6 months, moving into a summer construction time for that phase 1. So I'll move into the next one, American Legion Post 17, Veterans Residence Stormwater. This is a project that I think you all are familiar with. We have partnered with the county. They have given $500,000 worth of ARPA funds to go towards a stormwater improvement. We have combined this with a portion of the South Water Phase 3 project that we've talked about to try to remedy the issue that the Veterans Residence, Veterans Home has been experiencing for a great number of years. And so move quickly into the next one, Bly Avenue Stormwater. There are a series of projects that have been created in response to the Bly and Dorothy Jordan streetscape or widening project. As we're going through there, making those improvements along Bly and Dorothy Jordan, there are some stormwater projects that have been realized out of that, because as you make expansions, you add more, curbs and gutters and asphalts and sidewalks, you can create more problems. And so we've got 3 different projects that I'll walk slowly through just on this screen here. So one is, we call Area 1. It's from Church Street. Let's see if I can point here. So Church Street is right here, and this is Dorothy Jordan. And so the stormwater project actually cuts through Mr. Alexander's, not Mr. Todd Alexander, but Roy Alexander's property. And then it actually crosses underneath the railroad track, which is already a culvert there that we're not changing because that would take a lot more money and a lot more time. But cutting through the parking lot beside is it Fred's? Dollar General? I've gone blank for some reason. Dollar General, thank you. I don't know where that came from. So that's the first one. Second one is another stormwater project that is, let me see if I can identify the roads to get you. This is West Gray Street, crossing the railroad track, North Water, and 31E here. So we made a pretty extensive improvement on Gray Street years and years ago, but there still is a path that runs through that old lumber yard, crosses again the railroad track, goes under the old railroad depot, and then you all may be somewhat familiar with lots of complaints that are on Lion Street. And so this is an attempt to try to make as much improvement as is practical on Lions before that goes into Town Creek. Next is North Council Avenue, and if you have ever been over in the neighborhood where Bly, this is north on this end of the page, on the right side of the page, south on the left side of the page, and then Pace, Jackson, and North Council. If you've ever been over in this area after, we'll say, 5+ inches of rain falls, you'll see that this is a pond. There's no outlet for this, and so we're looking to actually come in, create an injection well and a holding area to try to create a flood area as opposed to letting it flood everywhere. And so that's the proposal for that. And then I think our last stormwater project that we have on our list is one that I think, again, most of you guys have heard about. Oh, I didn't make it into didn't make it into the presentation, my figure, but this Triple Creek Park, I think you guys are familiar with where that is and the berm that is across the property that we will be talking about a portion of it being annexed in a little bit. So I'll pause and open it up to questions that you may have about stormwater projects real quick.
So for the Council Street mitigation project, is it going to be like going back toward the train track area where you would, where you're going to look to channel the water to?
That's right. So that, again, there's really no place without a super expensive project for us to take this. So we're just going to keep it there, create, again, a holding pond or a holding area for that water to go to. And what it's doing now is it's just percolating into the ground and disappearing that way. So it's not currently draining out. We're creating, with the injection well, hopefully a more fluid way for it to drain out quickly.
I will say that is one of my favorite things that I'm seeing right now, because I had a good friend that used to live on that street. And then my first year on council, I spent a great deal visiting a constituent there that would point that out. So I think that people on the North Council area, they're going to love that. And I think it's wonderful. So I'm glad to see it.
I think Sean had a...
Apologize, maybe I didn't catch what you was saying, but like the first project up there, have you got an idea when that project might start?
Center to Anthony Street project. The plan is sometime next year. We think summer is when we would be going to construction. That depends on how quickly we can acquire the easements that are necessary
That's
for it.
with all these projects, basically?
It's not with all these projects.
Can you go back
That's
to
with
the
this project.
other one down by Roy Alexander's property? That's the one really, that one right there.
Yeah, so the schedule there, most of the Bly Avenue projects, we're hoping to team up with the Bly Avenue construction, and we're not expecting that to happen until more later, 2027.
Thank you.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Nick. For the post-17, I'm kind of worried because I need to be finished in 1 year
Yes.
for the fund. Where are we with, because I think we needed a piece of land from the neighbor. Where are we with that? Do you know?
Yes, I can go ahead and dive into that now. I was going to save that one for department head report a little bit later, but we may as well hit it. So we have negotiated as far as we think we can negotiate. We've made as high of an offer as we can through our normal strategies and what we as staff feel like we're capable of doing. And we've not been able to reach an agreement with the property owner. So our next logical step is to turn that over to our attorney's office for condemnation. It's, in my opinion, that is the next step, or we choose not to do the project. It's the only property that acquisition is required on for this project. And we rarely get to this point. We were talking about this earlier. Probably about 90% of our properties that we go through the process on, we're not forced into this kind of posture and condemnation, but that's where we're at.
Did they do appraisals on that? I mean,
Absolutely. Yes,
and they
sir.
still, they didn't want to accept it?
No. They thought the property was worth more than what the appraisal produced.
Did they have something to prove that, or?
They shared their own thoughts and comparables, and we took that to our appraiser. It didn't change the appraisal. We were able to increase our offer to some extent, as we will do from time to time based on our policies, but we could not. No, the Legion is not. We aren't required to get any property or easement from them. The property or easement is Liberty Baptist Church, so that is the property owner that we have not been able to reach an agreement
And
with.
it's particularly challenged because the church as a whole makes the determination, and our representatives have actually been having, I shouldn't say it like that, but the representatives for the church that our appraiser has dealt with are some city employees. So that kind of complicates it some more, and so we're trying to navigate, but I don't think we've ever had a circumstance where we haven't reached an agreement with the church, and so we're not, we're disappointed, but we can't be unfair to, future or past people, because everyone's told us that we're very generous in our negotiations, and our appraiser has said that we are, so.
Sorry, ma'am. How far away are we? Is that far?
I'll say that our appraisal, their counteroffer was they wanted approximately double from the value that we had offered, and we did increase our offer twice to try to get closer, but they did not change their offer or counteroffer. They never moved.
So I know there was a plan before who was not including the road. What is that something we can, if we can't, because I had to do condemnation because I think the same way I said for the stuff last week. But I think that's an issue we need to resolve some way. Will we have enough money to bounce back to the old plan without including the road to make sure we take care of that flooding issue?
Conceptual plan, but there
So,
wasn't.
right, this gets very complicated very quickly. The plan that was created years ago was something that was expected to be constructed by the American Legion on their own. It would have helped their situation. And then when the city was invited to help to correct the issue, the way that we saw fit to fix the problem was to expand the detention pond that we own at the rear of the American Legion property, which is at the corner of Bates and Woods Ferry. And so, as I explained to Councilman Alexander earlier, expanding that pond required and allowed us to correct the issue with Woods Ferry Road with the poor alignment, the poor angle alignment that comes in there. So both of those things worked together, which then necessitated another connection back to the other end of Woods Ferry with Hale Avenue extension. So could there be other solutions? Possibly. At this point, we have our design complete, and the clock is ticking on actually getting something to bid. And we have to have the money spent in about a year from now, October 2026. So time is certainly of the essence, or we're going to lose the $500,000 that's been given.
Because if we go to condemnation, how long that takes?
Well, if we go to condemnation, we get possession fairly quickly, and that's all that we need to move the project forward. So that's not a concern. We don't have to wait until the condemnation's over to spend the money.
Goes to court, it has to be after the city gets possession. Nick, what is the property in question? How's it zoned?
That I'm not sure. It may be commercially zoned. I don't think I have that appraisal.
Nick, this might not have nothing, I mean, I was approached by Liberty Church, being in my district over there, but they was talking about the property looking toward,
Yes.
To the
Yes,
left.
They brought that up.
they
in our
was wanting that
conversation.
property, and for the 100-foot that we had to take, and he was like, well, you just gonna take my property? I said, I don't think we're just gonna take your property. I said, I don't,
Right. So in comparison, the city is interested in acquiring 0.3 acres. The property that they are interested in to the north is 0.9 acres. It's almost a full acre. So, and that was one of the comparables that they gave because they thought that they could acquire that property for the price that they were asking for from us, which sounds fair because we're asking for 3/10, and that property is 3 times that.
I want to ask you also, you mentioned the Triple Creek berm. The houses that I've got, the duplexes that that are flooding from the creek, is there a potential that berm could help alleviate some of that flooding issues that I have off of Gallatin Road?
This project with the American Legion.
No, I'm talking about the berm project on
Oh,
Triple Creek.
I don't know that would make that much of an impact there. You're a little bit upstream on the other tributary with that property. It's possible that it could lower the water or the hydraulic grade line slightly in that area to allow your stormwater on that branch to pass through quicker, but I don't recall, I didn't study that or look at that in detail. The goal of that project is really to try to mitigate flooding that's downtown area. But I did, maybe.
Right in that area.
Yeah, maybe it could help to some extent by allowing basically that tributary that you're talking about on the south side to pass through quicker. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. Okay.
Nick, all those projects you got from council and Mr. Roy's property, from Church Street and all that, you're trying to get that to the town creek, right?
Yes, that's what all the third Bly project is
Get it
not,
down.
but the other 2 Bly projects, yes.
It was like the Act of Congress getting all that done, but as far as cleaning out Town Creek, is there any, has it been cleaned out? Or I know at my land and stuff, I keep my creek pretty cleaned out.
Right.
And it keeps me from flooding out,
You flooded me.
Yeah, I was on flooding him. As meant to, but no.
So we do, Richard DePriest's group, they are routinely in and around, especially where we have our box culvert or bridge crossings. We have the liberty to go in and take things down or out there. But there are some limitations because environmental restrictions. So, but really, our folks do a really good job of
Yeah.
making
I know
it as
Richmond did,
efficient as
yeah.
it possibly can be.
Because Alpha Drive, is it not? Alpha Drive, that's right. When it was flooding, they fixed that box culvert under Airport Road right there for all that too. And I know on down through 31 down through there, there's trees all in the creek down through there
Right.
in the back. So I don't know, it might help you out too. Open it up, but I don't know.
Maybe one day I can share, in the downtown master plan from 20, 25 years ago, there was a project that was shown that actually laid the banks of the creek back going through the downtown area. So you would be required to acquire some properties that are between the creek and Broadway. I'd love to talk about that dream. I think that would be
I think it's great. We got a
home run
division
for
now,
our
so, you know.
downtown and the way that it could create a park area visual from Broadway back into the downtown.
We're kind of working on that, aren't we? So-
I'm a huge fan of that one, but we hadn't got to that yet.
Many years ago.
Yes. You know, if that's a priority of someone's and you guys would like to see that move forward, I would
Very
love to add
appealing
it to
to
our
some
list.
potential investors too, so.
Sure. That would help.
Okay, move along on your stormwater.
Any other stormwater questions? All right, we'll move on to the next group. Traffic signals, we've got a little over $6 million in this group of projects. First on the list is, and this project is North Belvedere Drive, Village Green Drive signals. We talked about this very recently as we received bids and actually awarded, have already had our pre-construction meeting, and we are waiting for signal poles to be delivered, and we're expecting construction to actually begin in February. We expect that project to last 7-8 months, something like that, before we see it completed. I think a big improvement will be along at the Belvedere and National Pike intersection, where right now we have 3 southbound lanes going into National Pike. The project was create a 4th southbound lane. We'll have a double left turning movement from Belvedere onto National Pike. Next one on the list is National Pike at Hunt Club Boulevard. We have just about finished the traffic signal plans and are looking, I think we have finished, actually, looking to go to bid a little bit later this month. I think we may be aggressive in saying starting construction in December. Very likely it's going to end up being something similar with expecting poles to be delivered. So likely we're talking about more actual boots on the ground, March, April, something like that, after we've awarded the project. North Belvedere to the Poplar Drive signal. I think we might have had a little bit of misunderstanding with what money may be available to us currently on this when I had typed this, because there was a resolution passed a couple of months ago to incur debt to go towards this project, but I don't know that money's actually been appropriated yet, so we haven't began design, but we're hoping to soon. It is a project that is supposed to be funded with the GO bond that we've talked about. It was included in that conversation we were talking about going ahead and getting started with fire apparatus orders and things of that nature.
Were any developers putting money towards that?
Yes.
Is in a bond, I guess, or something?
Right. It is not fully funded by developers, but yes, it does have developer contribution. The next 2 on the list are ITS projects that are CMAQ funded. I think one of them is 80/20, the other is 100%. ITS is Intelligent Transportation System. This is where we're continuing to add our signal network, expand our signal network. The first ITS phase included 25 intersections along Nashville Pike, the downtown area. This second phase gets almost all of the rest, including those that are isolated. Actually, let me show you a picture. That would be better, wouldn't it? Here's ITS Phase 2. So those are all the signals that are identified in ITS Phase 2. So not as cost effective as the Nashville Pike, as you can imagine, because that's a lot easier to connect all those. But these are the red lines they're extensions from GDE's fiber network that kind of branch out to these more isolated intersections. And ITS Phase 3 is actually more signal upgrades on that ITS Phase 1. So going back and adding technology, making it better, more efficient. Again, 100% CMAQ funds, so we appreciate that. That gets me to the end of signals. I'll pause and allow any other questions you guys may have on that. Moving on. Roadway projects, almost $50 million worth of projects right here in this group. So Bly Avenue widening and streetscape, I believe that everyone is fairly familiar with this. I think that the main thing that you ought to know is right-of-way acquisition is happening. We've acquired about 5 of 95 tracks. We're probably within months of getting, we'll say 20 to 25 more of those. We feel confident that things are moving in a good direction. We haven't had any major issues or hurdles so far in those conversations. We are hopeful that as we continue to churn through all of this right-of-way, which again, over 95 tracks, that we could be on schedule to begin construction in 2027. So, South Water Phase 1 and 3, that is depicted here. Phase 1 is the section that's closer to downtown. Phase 3 is the section that's further away from downtown. Phase 2 is the section that was completed with ERA funds back about 15 years ago. So we have begun conceptual designs with this. You guys have already had some updates on this. I think I'll skip through it because we've had a lot of conversations on this one. We've had a lot of conversation on the next one, Lock 4 Road and Hancock Street roundabout, which is a developer-led and developer-funded project, but shows up on our list as an infrastructure add. Big Station Camp Boulevard Transportation Improvement District. I'm going to skip this one too because I've got that item next on the agenda and we'll go into detail there. So I'll pause on the roadway and just ask if you have any questions there.
Like you're good to move along.
Multimodal. So multimodal is sidewalks, greenways, trails, paths, things of that nature. They could include also bicycle facilities that maybe bike lanes. I got a great illustration to describe where the first 3 of these are on the list. The Vol State Gap Trail, Phase 1, Phase 1B, Phase 2A, Phase 2B, and you can see on the screen here that there are other pieces between the red and the green illustration here that is already a portion of trail built on the west side of Greenlee Boulevard. And then the West Side Market, or AKA the Target development, has plans to build the piece to the east side, which will get us connected. And so all of that will be connected. And then we've also had conversations, and you guys have approved plans about an extension of this trail going across the Gap apartment development. So very soon, within a few years, we'll have a large portion of trail that will extend almost from Blue Jay Way, Harris Lane, all the way down to Thorne Boulevard. And as the bridge project is developed over Station Camp Creek, we'll have the ability to make an easy connection into Nat Caldwell Park, which is pretty exciting to have a large portion of this trail that eventually will connect downtown to the Station Camp Creek trail that the county owns. So at different phases of this, the Vol State Gap Phase 1 is expected to go to construction next June or in the summer of 2026. We're a little bit further behind on 1B, 2A, 2B, but we're hopeful that we could begin construction for 2A, 2B very late next year, probably early 2027. And then 1B is something that is probably on a similar timeline with late 2026, early 2027. Next on the list is the Lock 4 multi-use trail. We just got our NEPA or environmental document approved, and we're waiting for TDOT to issue the notice to proceed to right-of-way, which will really hopefully kick this thing into gear. Usually the environmental stuff is the things that you have very little control over, and it takes way too long. So hopeful that right-of-way can move quickly, but we have penciled in right-of-way to still take 1 to 2 years. We put a worst-case scenario, we think, of 2 years, with construction beginning in 2028. And then finally, a project that you guys may be familiar with, but we had received another CMAQ grant that included a series of projects. We're called the Citywide Sidewalks Phase 2, which I'll walk through these slides real quick. The first one, there's 3 projects. The first one is along Long Hollow and Red River, expected to be on the south side of that road. That would connect Dorothy Jordan all the way down to the Howard Elementary School, and I think it's the Appalachian Pipeline office there that has a small piece of sidewalk that's constructed. The second segment of sidewalk is much smaller, but extends from the Gallatin Housing Authority properties on North Boyers across the R.T. Fisher School property, up North Boyers, up to East Jackson Street. And then finally, the third of the 3 sidewalks is along the west end of Coles Ferry Road that would connect sidewalks that are currently in place on South Water all the way out to Airport Road, where, again, there is a collection of sidewalks that's already there. So very large project. Actually, it's almost a $4 million, actually more than $4 million sidewalk project. But again, funded through state funds that are CMAQ funds, which actually are federal, going through the state. Altogether, we're talking about, again, with all these multimodal projects, over $13 million worth of projects, with a lot of that being state and federal funded. So the state and feds like to give money to go towards these kinds of projects. So pause there for that one, and let you ask any questions that you may have.
Might be putting everybody to sleep. Nick.
Awesome. TDOT-led projects, go super quick. You've seen this one before, 386 Long Hollow. The project still moves forward. This is the old rendition. They're not giving me any ability to release any new or new thoughts or ideas. This is what was in the document that was created a few years ago, which is a little bit different than I think what we're expecting. The city still has $7.2 million ask that is expected to come in a couple of years. The construction is scheduled for this project in FY31. So we're talking about late, I think it's December 3030 is the letting that it is scheduled to go in. So we're about 5 years away, according to TDOT's schedule right now. They are on schedule as of right now. Big Station Camp Boulevard signals. This project showed up a couple of years ago. The state had identified a safety issue with queuing potentially on 386 and decided that they would include a safety project within their safety program. So it's widening of the off-ramps for Big Station Camp Boulevard and adding traffic signals. This does go towards some of the improvements that we have scheduled in the Big Station Camp Boulevard TID. But the signals that are going to be put up are likely going to be temporary in nature because the TID plans to widen Big Station Camp Boulevard Bridge by quite a bit. And to try to coordinate and plan that, it may prove too difficult. So the expectation for construction at this point, construction is funded by TDOT in their safety program in FY27. As we understand, it should be late 26, the calendar year 26, but FY27 that they take this to construction. National Pike Bridges, I've already mentioned both of them tonight. And as I had said a couple of weeks ago when Mr. Fennell asked about these projects, Station Camp and East Camp, the construction is proposed to be late FY26. So June, July, I think is when they're looking to go to bid. So construction later, probably more like November, December, like I had mentioned at the meeting when we were talking about Foxa Marina. So it is funded through the Improve Act with TDOT. The last one on the list, Airport Road Signals. It's under construction, expected to be completed by the end of the year.
Thank you, Nick.
Questions?
Any questions for him?
That's a lot to take
I
in.
think it might be a time to take a brief recess. Y'all want to
I
recess?
just have
for-
one quick
Oh.
question. I want to make sure I heard you well, because you went really quick on it. On the Longwood Park extension, the city is going to have to put 7.5 mil.
That is what is in our agreement with the State Highway Partnership Program agreement. Yes. Altogether, the city, if I remember correctly, we were around $8 million for our share, and the county was around $10 million, which the county already gave their full share to the project.